Everybody. This is Babette Small, and I'm reflecting over this class. I so enjoyed it at so many different points, and I learned a lot that I will be taking forward into my career and my personal life and my discussions with my family and friends. Um, I enjoyed the introduction speech the most. I was connected to that assignment in such a beautiful way. I'm a lover of jazz, and I was secretly trying to entice my classmates into the jazz world if they weren't already introduced to it. And I had a personal connection to the artist that I introduced, the great and wonderful The Voice, Mr. Gregory Porter. So those of you who Googled him or YouTubed him after my speech, I so appreciate it, and I know that he does too. He's been in the game a very long time. My least favorite assignment would have had to have been the argumentative speech, and the reason was not the assignment, it was actually the timing. I experienced a COVID-19 family situation, and the concentration just wasn't there. And this is such an unprecedented situation. There wasn't much in the way of help or assistance for that type of hurt and that type of distraction, that type of noise that I read about. It was what I read about times 1,000. And my loved one that passed from COVID-19 was in Michigan, and at the time I was home in Atlanta, Georgia, and we were on the road to get back to Michigan, and then we had to drive with the kids back down to Georgia, and we're pulling into McDonald's because they have the free Wi-Fi, for those of you who don't know. So I could log in and try to get it done, and not being able to grieve in the normal way took its toll, and it took its toll right in that window of that argumentative assignment. I would have much preferred a written option at that time. It was very hard to be on frame through that grieving process, and somehow I connected with my grieving with trying to be productive, and it didn't quite meet. And the whole grieving process is so new and so different, away from my culture, away from my upbringing, so my mind had no time to adjust to it, and things suffered through that. And trying to reconcile a loss when you can't touch, you can't be in the presence of your other loved ones was a bit much for me to take at that time. So that was my least favorite assignment, and an alternate, a written assignment would have been preferable for me at that time. I was psychologically overwhelmed, to be real honest. I enjoyed so much the live learning sessions with Miss Ann. If I could suggest anything, it would be to add more of that. I'm of a time frame, thus the gray hair, of walking to class and sitting down and having that camaraderie with the instructor. So I so enjoyed and appreciated, and I'm so thankful to have been able to be in on those sessions. And during the last session, I think I actually said or type or text in the text box, "Oh no, it's the last session," because I really felt connected, and I learned by that kind of connectability. I've learned that the way I receive and send information is interpreted different and received different, and I send different in different scenarios. And I did not realize that my resting face was of a flat effect. So now I have a little bitty mirror that I carry in my purse, and during meetings I find myself looking down and trying to correct that resting face to a more agreeable, a more accepting look. Even though my mind is connected, my affect appeared as if it was not. The lessons on the study guide, I was taken aback by that, and I went back and I went through several, and I enjoyed the learning that takes place there. I just wish that they were updated. You could tell that they were a little dated, but I enjoyed getting the basics from those lessons and being able to go back and bring forward and go back again if you needed to refresh and bring forward. Parroting. I wasn't big on parroting before I saw the example on the learning lesson, but I found myself taking that to work, and I have a fresh notepad for each interaction with each of my reports, and I'm listening, and then I'll ask for some time, and I'll write down, and then I will parrot back to my report to ensure I'm getting what they're trying to send me. I'm trying to receive it correctly, and I parrot it. I learned how to parrot back to them so that I'm assured that I'm right in step at the information they are sending to me. I enjoyed the readings. I read them on the 12-hour drive to Michigan from Georgia and the 12-hour drive back. I'm a reader, though I know some wouldn't be and don't choose to be, but they gave more of the information than just the lessons and just the readings and just the study guide or the syllabus. It was really, really, really good. I appreciate Miss Ann tremendously. And I say that because through my COVID-19 situation, I did not know what to do. If it were just, I fell and broke my wrist. That's something, okay. You still have another wrist, and you could call and you could text and say, hey, I broke my wrist, I'm having problems, da 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 da. But this was something so much greater that it took my mindset out of the norm, out of the realm of rational thinking. My critical thinking went right out of the window. So I'm very appreciative of my advisor, my other instructor, as well as Miss Ann. It was a pleasure being in class with y'all, and I hope to see you around our cyber campus. And thank you for all of your wonderful insight.